to the crazy ones, the ones who see things differently. You can praise them, or you can disagree with them.
Quote them, disbelieve them.
Glorify them, vilify them.
About the only thing you can do is ignore them.
Because the people who are crazy enough
to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Let's go change the world.
Welcome, Northwest Military families. We are excited to invite you here to our campus at the Bar Shop JCC, where we are opening up our sister campus. And this year we're going to open up our second campus here in San Antonio for Anne Frank Inspire Academy, and that campus is going to be kindergarten through second grade. Remember, at Anne Frank Inspire Academy, we're where kids belong, find joy, and become great. And for kinder, first, and second graders, we really pride ourselves on our pedagogy and the way that we instruct students. And we do that through inquiry and an inquiry process. I know one of the concerns that many parents have as their kids go off to school is what happens to their curiosity, what happens to their questions. And one of the things that we're proud of is that with our method of education and teaching, and facilitating, students are able to build that through the inquiry process. We let them take what wakes them up in the morning, their agency and what they're proud of, and then take that with situations of urgency, put them together, and let them explore and create wonderful projects. Those projects are what builds everything, and if you'll sit back and watch this next video, it's going to take you through a tour of what a day at Anne Frank Inspire Academy is for students. We are so excited to announce that we are opening up a new campus here at Northwest Military at the JCC. We've heard you, we've listened. Our community has been asking for us to expand and be able to get more students into our elementary, and we're doing just that. So we are excited to be opening up a school that's going to start this year, K-2, where students are going to be able to come, belong, find joy, and be great. We believe that students first belong. And that's because we have to connect, and we connect together through living experiences. You can see our students interact with each other and form relationships and where they belong. So once students are able to connect and belong, then that's when we find joy. We find joy by living life and experiences together through good times and bad times. And that's what creates that mindset for us to continue to grow through multiple different scenarios and multiple different situations. So the final imperative is to be great. And I know what you're thinking. K-2, be great. We can be great no matter the season that we are in our lives. One of the biggest things that we do at Anne Frank is we keep students' curiosity alive. And so your child is going to enter into K first or second grade, and they're going to come home, and if you're hoping for them not to ask you any more questions, too bad. They're going to be there every day asking you, I wonder why, what happens if? But what we're going to equip them with is the ability to find those answers through asking you appropriate questions and also seeking out answers for themselves. So now it's time for you to take that next step, and you do that by going to AnneFrankIA.com. There you'll be able to set up tours, inquire about our campus, find more information, or just go ahead and apply today. Once you do that, July 1st, we'll have our lottery in which our students will be selected for our first run. We look forward to working with you as a family and watching your students belong, find joy, and become great here at Anne Frank Inspire Academy. So I want to clarify a couple of things as far as what you're going to experience as families. Right now, we're in our open enrollment. So come in, take a tour, schedule that, and you can do that by going to AnneFrankIA.com and setting up an inquiry. You look on there for the one that says Northwest Military or NWM, and that's the school that you pick. And that will make sure that we reach out, we give you a call, and we set up a tour for you to come up and visit us here at campus so you can see what the day is actually going to look like. And then July 1st, what's going to happen is that's our day that we have our lottery in which students are selected in order for their enrollment. So hurry up, apply now. Let's be honest, right? We announced this a week ago. There's spots that are available. Get your application in, secure your spot, and then we're going to be able to get you in for next year. And so we're really excited about that process. The other thing that we're excited about is who we're bringing on board. One of the things that we have is we have great staff that are joining us. And today I get the privilege, the honor to introduce our new principal for Northwest Military, Dr. Ruben Carrillo. And we're excited for him to join us. Ruben, come on in. Let's bring you into this. And so, Ruben, do me a favor. Go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So, like Mr. Johnson said, my name is Dr. Ruben Carrillo. I've been in education for over 20 years. Come with experience at the campus level. I've been a teacher, been a coach, been a campus administrator. And my heart really kind of called to me and pushed me back into the campus after having a couple of years of experience at the district director role, and really excited about pursuing this new adventure, right? Brand new campus, Northwest Military, part of the Anne Frank Inspire Academy family, and really excited to begin this new chapter and to welcome new families into our family.
Yeah, so one of the things that stood out to us, Doc, was that your interest during your interview process was your interest in building relationships with families. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about how you want to build relationships with them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely been the foundation of everything that I've done, really. When I first started, that's what pulled me and kind of attracted me to work with students, right? I've always been attracted to making those connections, right? That's really important, to make that connection from school to the family, from school to the home. And building that bridge, building that gap, and keeping that connection alive and that communication with family members. I feel like the more we have these kind of critical conversations with family members and parents and guardians, and the more we learn about what's going on at home and what their expectations are and what their hopes are for their kiddos here at Anne Frank, then the more we can build upon that. So I think it's really important to foster that and to keep that communication live and open, and then always make myself available to our families here at Anne Frank.
Yeah, so let me see if I can put you on the spot, because
Sure.
we didn't rehearse any of this, right? So I'm going to put you on the spot here. You're a father of three, right? And one of the things that has really intrigued you during your process that you've shared with me is this inquiry process and getting your kids involved and seeing about them coming over. So what is it as a parent, right, that's really intrigued you about our inquiry process?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, listen, I've got 3 kids at home that are incredibly curious kiddos. They love to learn, but they love to learn in kind of their way and their manner, with their resources, and we really at home really encourage that and build upon that. They have very inquisitive minds, and so we foster that and we promote that, right? And I think Anne Frank Inspire Academy does very much the same kind of concept in the classroom. It really encourages students to pursue their interests, do their own research, provide their own questions, and then more importantly, gives them the resources and the tools to find their own answers. It really builds upon what a learner should be, right? We want to see lifelong learners. We want to see kiddos that really prosper and are successful in college and beyond, right? So I think setting that foundation at the K-12 level is really important, and allowing them the opportunities to foster their curiosity, to build skills that have to do with research, and to answer their own questions, right? And build on their interests. So that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of fun for me because I just get to ask the questions. I don't have to actually answer them, right? So, Doc, tell me a little bit about, give me 3 words that families can feel like their kids are going to feel on campus on a daily basis, right? Give me 3 adjectives of what you want for students to feel here at Anne Frank Northwest Military.
Sure. So I think first and foremost, I would
3
want
words. 3 words now.
3
You can't
words.
explain them. 3
Sure.
words.
A connection.
Okay.
I want to see that connection,
Okay.
and I'm sure families want to see it as well. Caring. That's always been top on my list. Is to build that emotion, that connection. Want to make sure our families and our students know that we care about them. And then just fun. Okay, we're talking about kinder, 1st, and 2nd grade, and we're going to make learning and we're going to make coming to school fun. And I think if we keep those three in mind, then we're gonna send some happy kids home.
Yeah, and so those three things are going to guarantee that your kids belong, find joy, and become great here at Anne Frank. And one of the things that we do that Dr. Carrillo is going to have an opportunity to really engage in is we engage in standard-based grading. And so what we like to do is we like to make sure that we know what kids know. And then we want to know what kids can do. And then we want to know the third thing, what are kids becoming? So we have a video that you're about to watch that is going to explain that in more detail. But, I know that you're used to traditional grades. And don't worry, we still do the traditional grades. But those grades don't give you the information that we give you at Anne Frank. We give you a little bit more than that. So watch this video and learn a little bit more about our standard-based grading. The primary purpose of grading is to communicate student achievement. Over time, grading has transformed into a process that tried to package many factors into one single number. That is why at Anne Frank Inspire Academy, we are committed to sharing intentional, consistent, and meaningful information about each individual student's process of learning. We do this by providing syllabi that specifically lay out our expectation for each unit and the way we communicate with parents and students what matters most. What do I need to know? What do I need to be able to do? And what do I need to become? Part of reimagining education is sometimes just staying focused on what matters most, and that's student learning. Standards-based grading allows us to do just that, and this is how it works. First, you decide what's worth learning. For us at Anne Frank, that is our TEKS. This is what we are required to ensure students master, and it's laid out for us. Second, what is it a student must know? This is the information that they need in order to be successful in the future. And third, what is it a student can do with the information once they know it? Finally, what a student is becoming. Too often you have raised great kids that work hard and their grades reflect it. But we do them a disservice because it doesn't communicate accurately what they know or what they can do. This is why we must have an area that gives you important information about soft skills. We need to be successful without giving false information about learning. We believe at Anne Frank that by providing you with this specific feedback, that we will be able to serve your child and your family while ultimately working together to ensure that all students belong, find joy, and become great. So we're fixing to head into our Q&A session, and so if you have any questions, go ahead, put those in the chat over on the side, and we'll be more than happy to answer those here shortly. And guys, we'll stay and we'll answer as many questions because we're just excited to have the opportunity to introduce this wonderful school to you. And so the video that you just got finished watching talks about the grading. And grading always carries a different connotation for people, right? If you are an A student like Dr. Carrillo, then, he's like, yeah, I love grades, right? And then if you're like me, then it's more of a situation where you're just like, grades, what do they tell me? And so the grades only give you certain number of feedback based off of your past experiences. And what we really want to do is shift that word grade to feedback. And we want to give you as much feedback about what your kid is actually supposed to have learned, whether or not they know it, and then what can they do with that information that they have. And so our facilitators are trained to provide that specific feedback. And we do that first by starting with the syllabi that were in the video, and all of those things were discussed, but it's not something that we just say, it's something that we truly feel is important. And what we know about learning is it comes down to the feedback and the conversations that you have about learning. And that's where we're supposed to start at. So even at the kindergarten level, it's about getting those students to be involved in those conversations and what they're going to ask. So again, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We're going to jump into this Q&A piece of it. Don't forget, go on, apply, or go on and just request an inquiry. Come over, take a tour with us. Dr. Carrillo is going to show you around. He's going to show you what a great place this is. Start building that relationship with you, and then July 1st, we'll have our lottery and we'll get those things kicked off. But we're going to turn it over to our producer, Phil Castillo now. He's going to let us know a couple of questions that have come in.
Yeah, so we had a question from Charity, and she's wanting to know what will happen for her second grader that might have come this coming year. What's the plans after that for the following year?
Yeah, so great question. So our plans are, K first and second grade this coming school year, which is great. We welcome families to get on the website and create their inquiry. But then the following year, the plan is to go ahead and begin and start additional grade levels. Okay, so the following year we are planning to begin 3 through 5 grade levels, and then after that point, the following year we'll begin a 6th grade level, and then the following year 7th, and then 8th. So ultimately, what we want to see is we want to see a K through 8 campus here at Northwest Military, and then just provide services for as many families as we can. So yeah, that's the plan in the next couple of years.
Great. And we had another question about after-school care. Are we going to offer that?
Yeah, sure. So there will be after-school care provided. It'll actually be provided by the JCC here, which is where we are currently housed, the Jewish Community Center. So there will be possibility for after-school care for some students.
Nice. Then we had a question about music, art, or dance opportunities.
Yeah, so like my favorite things, right? So art, music. We will be offering those opportunities for our students at least a couple of times a week. But what we're planning to do is to really reach out to community members and provide opportunities for them to come into the campus. So students will have the opportunity to be involved in music and in art and just a variety of things. Maybe some karate courses. It's really what we can reach out to the community and maybe provide for our students here on campus. So
yeah, and where we get those ideas, right, is from our students. Our students are the ones that decide what we're going to bring in because they're the ones that share the interest. And so if it's dance, then we're going to bring in dance. If it's music, it's music. But one of the things we do is we listen to their voice and what their experiences have been in the past and what they liked. And then we also want to expose them to new things as well, right? So it's not just about getting the same thing every single day. And so one of the beauties about us being a small campus is we're able to listen to our students and we're able to react to what it is that they desire and what their needs are.
Great. Okay. And we had a question regarding teacher-student ratio.
Yeah, so our teacher-student ratio, right, what we do is we ensure that that ratio stays small by bringing in, we have our facilitators who are responsible for designing the instruction, and then we also have IAs that are in the rooms as well. And so we try to keep our student to adult ratio to somewhere around 10 to 12, 13, 14 students, somewhere around that area right there, so that students are constantly in small groups. Now the other piece of this is that we design our lessons so that students are constantly being the ones that are doing the work, right? So it's not about us sitting and talking to 30 students at one time or 25 students at one time. It's about putting them in stations, allowing them to do the work so we can pull small groups and be more intentional about the instruction that they're receiving during the day.
Great. And then if a student maybe does not qualify for special ed but would like some extra support, would that be available?
Not only extra support, but also extension, right? So what we want to do is we want to design for the edges. We know that we're going to have students that walk in the door in kindergarten that maybe don't know their alphabet just yet. But we're also going to have students that maybe are reading chapter books. We're going to have students at all different levels. And so one of the things that we do is we anticipate the students and the areas that are going to be in our rooms. And then we design our lessons for all of the students that are there. So to answer your question specifically of will there be opportunities for intervention, of course. Now the best part of intervention is good solid instruction to start with. And so one of the first places that we're going to start is making sure that we give good solid, strong foundational instruction, and then we'll support that instruction for the gaps that maybe are created on either end. For those, there is a misconception out there, right? For those students that do require special services, we also provide those as well.
All right. And then for next year, will we be offering virtual learning?
It's a great question, and I would love to know the answer to that. So one of the things right now, in case you don't know this piece of it, the state of Texas currently does not allow for virtual learning to take place. There's a law that says that it can't. And what happened this past year is we were issued a waiver, and that waiver expires soon. Now, there is current legislation that is sitting there that is being discussed. I believe it was discussed on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, but there hasn't been action that's taken yet. And so we're currently in a holding pattern. We're waiting to see what the state will allow, and then we will make our arrangements around that. What I can promise you as a family is that we are always going to be on the front end of things, right? Our mission is to reimagine education. And so if there's things that are out there that allow for us to offer you as families the more control and flexibility, then we're going to issue that as long as it doesn't have a negative impact on student learning. And so I know there's a whole lot of different opinions out there. Unfortunately, I wish I could give you a straight answer. I'm not trying to dodge the question, but the state hasn't given us the flexibility yet to actually turn around and meet all of our students' needs based off of the virtual learning.
Good. And the last question is, are teachers going to be certified?
Yeah, so all of our teachers are Texas certified, and so we do not hire non-certified teachers. And you'll hear us use the word facilitators more so than the word teachers. We speak both languages, so we'll say teachers, but it's interchangeable with our facilitators. So again, at Anne Frank, we have high standards. So not only are all of our facilitators certified, also at the high school level, all of our facilitators are also on-ramp certified, which means that they're able to teach college level courses for the University of Texas. I say that even though we're opening up a K-2 here on campus to let you know what our standards are for our facilitators. And so again, every facilitator that we put in front of you is going to be a certified facilitator in the area that they are responsible for covering.
Perfect. And Charity's curious if the students will be wearing uniforms.
So Charity, we don't require uniforms. We do have times where we ask for the students to buy a polo shirt. We're currently in the process of looking at that to see if that's something that we're going to carry on, see if that's something we're going to bring here. But we don't currently require uniforms. We believe that you as a family should be able to control what your kid wears here on campus.
Nice. And we also had another question regarding what's our view of the use of student technology?
Student technology is just like any other resource. It has a place, right? But it's not the be all end all, right? So we're not going to just live in technology for the sake of living in technology. What I know, what research tells us, what I know from experience, the number one thing that makes an impact is great people. Right? People like Dr. Carrillo, people like the staff that we're putting together, the facilitators, right? Nothing impacts learning better than the facilitator themselves. The only thing that has a greater impact is student engagement with that facilitator, right? And so that's why we believe firmly in building relationships and having those facilitators there. Now, does that mean that technology is evil and bad? Of course not. Does it have a place? Yes, it does. Does it allow for us to do things and extend kids? Does it allow for us to put them in places where they can explore questions and answers? Of course. And so everything we do is going to be intentional, it's going to be with a purpose, and it's going to make students learn better.
Cool. That was our last question.
So guys, we appreciate you for joining us tonight. I look forward to you coming and meeting Dr. Carrillo. I hope that you have a great time exploring what Anne Frank has to offer. But don't just stop there. Don't just stop behind the screen, just like the question about technology. Come up, talk to us face to face, get to know who's going to be working with your kids, get to know what we have to offer, and please don't hesitate to come join us in this journey, right? And so we're excited to again be joining the Barshop JCC and partnering with them as far as having a location for our Northwest Military Campus. July 1st is going to be our lottery day. Get in, secure your spot before then, and then also don't forget, we're a place where your kid's going to belong, find joy, and become great here at Anne Frank Inspire Academy.